Don't miss the 34th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, presented by Berks Arts, April 4th through the 13th, 2025. Celebrated as one of the best festivals in the world, including top-name traditional, contemporary, and R&B performers. 10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. The 34th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. Tickets on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, check out berksjazzfest.com.
Hello and welcome to Behind the Lines. I'm Diane Dayton, and yes, we are on location out of the studio. We are in Philadelphia, the place to go for live jazz. We're at South, and we are sitting on the stage, and we're going to talk to you about something really exciting coming up this spring, and it's the 34th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, April 4 through 13, 2025, and boy, I'm with two people that I can't wait to talk to. We've got John Ernesto, longtime director of the festival, and we have Gerald Veasley, and you are music host.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. It's exciting to be here.
It is exciting, and it's exciting to be here in the hub of jazz and knowing that we're going to go to Reading and really have a wonderful time in April. There's so much to talk about. Let's give everybody kind of an overview of some of the shows that they're actually going to be able to hear and be a part of. So if we're looking at that first Friday, we've got, it's the legacy of Frankie Beverly. It's the Maze. We're celebrating that. Tell us about that, John.
The band, it's all members of who are members of Maze. Mm-hmm. And when Frankie passed, they formed a band called the TMF, the Music Forever. Chris Walker, great vocalist, who's been at the festival many times, is part of the project. So they approached us about doing it at the festival. And we said, why not? Let's do it. So that's going to be our kickoff show on Friday, April the 4th at the Scottish Rite Cathedral. So it's a great way to start the festival.
It really is, and the sound in the Scottish Rite Cathedral is great, and there isn't a bad seat there either.
No, it's a great venue, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we work on the audio there every year with our vendors. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think, too, during the Grammys, they were recognizing Frankie Beverly and the music this past time around.
Yes.
Yeah, which was exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can come and experience that too. So also then at 9:30 at night we've got Boney James. Right, Cheryl?
Yeah, I mean, Boney James, what can you say? He's a fan favorite, and he's been to the festival many times, and it's always a highlight, and never fails to excite and entertain folks.
Oh yeah, he's
one of the key figures in the contemporary jazz world, and guys, he's been playing with us since the '90s, mid '90s. Wow. You know, when he first started out, and so happy to have him back. He wasn't with us last year, but he's back for this festival.
Yeah, and the location for that too is also in the Grand Ballroom
at the DoubleTree.
At the DoubleTree, which is one of the main hubs, right?
Sure, absolutely.
It's there, and then there's also the small ballroom too.
Yeah,
is that right, John?
Our four main venues are the DoubleTree Grand Ballroom and the small ballroom, the Miller Center, and the Scottish Rite Cathedral in West Reading.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, those are great places. And then, of course, on that first night, you're going to kick off the first unscripted jazz jam.
Yeah, we love the unscripted jazz jams. It's, again, a fan favorite. We've been doing this for many years. And
do you remember how that came about, John?
Well, I mean, it was just a relationship Gerald and I had. Actually, Gerald and I met at the second festival.
That's right.
And he played with a band called Reverie, and they were playing at the Holiday Inn out on Fifth Street Highway. And, we connected. In fact, he was from Philly. We started talking about ideas, about the music, and so we became friends, and I started picking brains waiting to do things differently. When we came up with the idea of doing a midnight jam, I approached Gerald about hosting them. So it's a long time ago. So but now we joke around that we're going to do the late night jams at 4:30 and have the it's a senior group AARP sponsor. So,
right.
Yeah, so we did move from midnight to 11:30.
Yeah. So, but it's become such a fan favorite too, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think people love the spontaneity of the jam. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to show up, what songs they're going to play, and people really stretch out. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It truly, truly is. So then the next day, on Saturday, April 5th, you're going to have special effects, the All-Stars with Chieli Minucci. Tell me more about that.
Well, Gerald actually performed with them at times, so he could probably give you a good insight into that program with Lau and
Yeah, sure. I mean, Special Effects is one of the legendary bands in the genre, and this particular unit, the All-Star unit,
Right.
It really includes some amazing artists. And Carl Cox, for the first time, is also joining the ensemble. But Kelly's a dear friend, again, one of the great guitarists. Lau Tizer's involved with the project. Just an all-star band. Karen Briggs.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's amazing.
Elliot Yamin.
Elliot Yamin, the
vocals.
wonderful vocalist.
Yeah. So this is something, I mean, the artists and what they do and how they communicate and the stretching
Yeah.
that happens on stage.
Yeah, what's nice about that program, we have I hate to use the opening act, but a co-bill with a group called
String Queens.
String Queens. And it's 2 violinists and a cello player. And they're amazing. They're very amazing. They play jazz, they play blues, they play all kind of classical music, and they put a flair to it. So they're actually going to be the opening for that show on Saturday, April the 5th.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And then that afternoon at 4 o'clock, I'm glad 480 East is coming back with Jeff Kashawa.
Yeah.
There's such a great energy there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love them. They have a really special groove.
Yeah.
You know, it's very a nice flair of the music. It really, when I hear it, it makes me want to dance. When I hear them, they're just fantastic.
I usually do.
They have a
Good.
big following at the festival. That show's basically sold out already.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's in the small ballroom at the
ballroom,
Doubletree
sure.
downtown, too. And then 7 o'clock that night, wow, Brian Culbertson. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? I mean,
He's probably the top artist in contemporary jazz right now. He's done an amazing job building his career, and we're fortunate he likes to come back to our festival every year. First time we met, Brian was a shy kid. He would hide in the corner of the lobby at the Sheraton.
Yeah.
He's come a long way since those
Not a
days.
shy kid
He's not
anymore.
shy anymore.
there's
So-
nothing shy about him on stage. And he
but,
does a show,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
he really
And
is.
actually, I interject something. We're working. Actually, I was talking to Brian yesterday. He reached out to me last week about the possibility of screening. He's working on a release, DVD of concert release. It's the trilogy tour, live from Detroit,
Okay.
and it's going to be released in March. And he wanted to talk to me about possibly doing a screening at the festival.
Oh, that's really
So
great.
it's going to happen on Sunday, April the 6th at
Okay.
6 o'clock at the Boscov Theater at the Gogglworks.
Fantastic.
So details to come, but that's happening for sure. So Brian's going to stay over, hang out for a day, and host this screening.
Oh,
at the-
that's great.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's something new I didn't know about.
Yeah.
9:30 that night, Layla Hathaway.
Yeah.
Just a legendary artist.
Right.
I love Layla.
Yeah, she was nominated for 2 Grammys. She didn't win, but she was nominated for 2 Grammys this year. So
Yeah. And that is in the Grand Ballroom, too.
Right.
And something else that's going on even between these shows, we've got to do a shout out to the DJ, right? Al Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah. He's got stuff going on in the lounge, doesn't
right.
he?
He's king of the lounge.
He is. I think he has feature artists in there, too, that
Yeah,
will stand and
he
do
does
some
a
things.
late night on Friday and Saturday. Friday night and Saturday he does an afternoon show with Curtis Haywood.
Yep.
And then he's going to do the 9:30 show on Saturday and Curtis is going to play the tracks in the. It's a great hang. People love it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Then he's going to do something on Thursday night after the jam. Then Friday, Walter Christopher's coming to perform with him, and then that's Saturday after. Excuse me, Saturday. Friday night I don't think there was anybody. Just going to do his music. Somebody will show up. Then Waller's with him on Saturday, the
Fantastic,
12th.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I love that he brings in. I'm sorry.
No,
I just
go for
love
it.
that he brings in these up and coming artists.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do
And
too.
gives them a platform.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
He's introduced me to artists I didn't know about, and I
Yeah.
got to know, and some of them are playing the festival now in
Yeah.
different capacities. But Al, being in the business he is, and with his online radio, he has contact, and he listens to a lot of music, and a lot of artists reach out to him.
Yeah.
So,
That's great. And then, of course, on Saturday night, once again, we'll be seeing you at 11:30.
Yeah. So get your
Unscripted.
coffee.
yeah.
And stay awake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sunday, the 6th of April, there's going to be, once again, a jazz brunch, and this time bringing in Gerald Albright.
Yeah. Gerald's he's going to be the brunch on Sunday, and looking forward to that.
Yeah, he has a magic about him on stage.
He does.
You know,
He's a
doesn't
legend.
he?
He's a legend in the business.
Absolutely, he's a legend.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him and doing a podcast one time, and I said, "How do you come up with titles for your album?" He goes, "I put it in the car and I go for a drive."
Oh,
You know?
that's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I thought that was really interesting. So after that, we also have on, let's see, Monday.
Well, Sunday we have
Who else? That evening?
the Pops on Sunday afternoons. Sunday with the Pops.
Oh, that's right. Aubrey Logan.
Aubrey Logan and Ilya Zeroff with the Ready Pops Orchestra.
Yeah.
That's going to be really good. I've been a part of the conversations between Will Rapp, who's the conductor of the Pops, and Aubrey as they put the show together. They've been great. I mean, it's going to be a really good show. It's going to be good.
And I think the Miller Center is a perfect
Yeah,
place for
yeah.
that, too.
Yes.
There isn't a bad seat there.
No,
And it's a
no.
beautiful view. The sound is amazing, too. And let's see. We've got the So What thing at 6 o'clock, too.
On Sunday, yeah, that's at
Yeah.
the Highlands, something new we're doing this year.
Okay.
The Highlands is a nice retirement village, and they like to do music for their guests, for their residents.
Yes.
And so we put together a series of shows showcasing our jazz education program that you've talked about,
Yeah.
and Get Jazz. So it's going to be kind of nice.
I
And it's open to fans from music fans who are not residents. There's a limited number of tickets
Okay.
for all those shows.
Right. Well, that's good to know. That's a different element we
Yeah.
haven't had before. So on Monday, we've got Tuesday, we've got Wednesday. There's a lot of educational
Right,
things going
yeah.
on. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the Get Jazzed event is happening, and it's the brainchild of Mike Eben. I almost said a different name. And he's just a committed educator, saxophonist, has taught so many wonderful young musicians. And to have this included in the festival, it's sort of a reimagining of how to make sure that young students are inspired, get hands-on knowledge and experience with world-class clinicians, and then have a wonderful community jazz jam on Monday, which is open to kids from the area.
Yeah.
So
all
that's-
kids from they are invited to be part of it. The clinicians work hand in hand with the kids.
Yep.
You can't get any. We're really excited. Mike Eben has been working on education programs for Jazz Fest for many years, and it's been a challenge at times connecting with the kids. But we've got to a point now where we're really happy with what we have, and it's being successful. So that's good. And when we're reaching young musicians, and for me, it's one of the highlights because there's some of these young musicians who are now coming back and be band leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells us we're getting older, but that's really cool. You know?
It is good to
In fact, one of the kids who, Greg Wilson, who's Mike Eben taught in school, and he's now teaching my grandson.
Wow.
So, saxophone.
Wow.
Who's sixth grader. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
That's amazing.
Really good. So if you go on to the website, berksjazzfest.com, you can find out all the times and
Absolutely,
locations for
yeah.
that too. But what I also thought was interesting, on Wednesday, we've got Kurt Elling is going to be celebrating the Music of Weather
Yes.
Report.
That's a show that's part of KU Presents series.
Okay.
They have a series, the 25, 26 series. Every year we work together to have them book a jazz act, and we build it into the festival. It helps them, helps us.
Yep.
It's a good win-win collaboration. So Kurt Elling is writing lyrics to Weather Report tunes.
Wow.
I mean, Kurt Elling, to me, is one of the more amazing artists we have. There's no boundaries that he's not afraid to go after. And Peter Erskine's in the band, who's went member of Weather Report.
Yeah.
Joey Calorado's on keyboards and
Fantastic,
pianos. It's going to
fantastic.
be an amazing show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
And then on Thursday, the Chuck Loeb Memorial All-Star Jam. That's amazing. That's 7 o'clock, and that's also in the Grand Ballroom.
Yeah, I always love co-hosting the jam with our good friend Rick Braun, and especially in honor of our dear friend Chuck Loeb, who was an amazing fixture in the festival, wonderful producer, human being, guitarist. And every year, John just tops himself in inviting artists to take part in the jam.
Yeah.
Remind me who's here this year. God.
Oh, now you're asking me to remind you.
Bobby.
I've got the sheet. I'll tell
you
you.
got the sheet,
Right, yeah,
okay.
here we go. Eric Marienthal,
Right.
Eric Darius,
Bobby Lyle.
Bobby Lyle.
Mindy Abear,
Mindy
Right,
will
Mindy,
be there.
yeah.
Marcus Anderson, Rebecca Jade, Curtis McCain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, actually, Gerald and Rick deserve a lot of credit for putting this together, because everyone thinks this thing is really a well-organized machine.
It isn't?
Just come to the Cheers Lounge
Yes.
about 1 o'clock on that day, and that's when they start putting the idea.
that's when it comes
Then we have a
together.
luncheon with all the artists. Then that's how it. There's no major sound checks or
No.
It's.
just-
Do you want to play in this? Or do you want to play in it? What do you want to
Yes.
play? So.
It really is. Thanks for revealing that, John. It's
Well,
in the spirit of jazz.
Yeah, it's
We decide what we want to play.
Well,
Improvise.
Just like it says up here, life is a lot like jazz. It's best when you improvise, and that's exactly what you
Yeah,
guys do
it's
that
totally,
night.
Totally.
one of my favorite memories of the jams is the night that Pat Martino was on stage jamming with Mindy Abear.
I remember
I mean,
that
that's like
clearly.
a culture clash. I mean, not
Yeah.
clash, but different styles of music, different, I just,
Yeah.
And it comes together.
that will,
It does, it does.
that's something you won't see anyplace
No.
else.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
One of my favorite moments was standing behind the great Maceo Parker.
Yeah. hmm
Maceo took part in the jam
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And I won't say that my feet moved as well as James Brown, but in my mind, yeah. So it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Maceo
It
was
is.
amazing that
He
night.
was
He
amazing.
had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing you have to experience. Now, something that you started doing is the early bird concert. There's going to be one on Friday, April 11th.
Yes, they just played here, the
Jacob Webb.
Jacob Webb and Felicia Ray. They just played here at South.
Yeah, we just had
Two basses. And
Okay.
Joe could probably talk more about them being bass players than me. So
No, they put on an amazing show, and I love how they play off one another.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob is an awesome entrepreneur too. He has many artists on his own label,
Right,
And
yeah.
so we were happy to host them here.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. After that, at 6 p.m., there's going to be a David Sanborn tribute, and this is going to be at the Scottish Rite.
yes. That's it's going to be, to me, one of the highlights of the festival. When David passed, what do you do? David was an integral part of Jazz Fest many times. Performed, countless plays. Actually, the last time he played was 2022. Anyways, it was
Yeah.
it was him and Joey D and Randy Brecker
okay.
and can't think of the drummer's name right now, Billy Kilson, and like within a year they were both gone.
Yeah.
So actually Eric Marienthal is the musical director of that. There was a tribute show in New York at Sony Hall in November, and they agreed to do our festival, and they're doing Sanborn tributes on the Smooth Jazz Cruise, which is next 2 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
That's
going to be really cool. It's
I
going to be
think so,
good. And
too.
his wife is going to be there. Alice is going to be
Mm-hmm.
there. So yeah, and the Jazz Cruise with Jazz Cruises is the backer sponsor of that.
Right.
They're helping us make this all happen. So we're excited about
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
They honor David, who's had an amazing career, not only in
Yeah.
jazz but pop music and everything
absolutely.
else.
Yeah.
Victor Wooten and the Wooten brothers are coming back at the Miller Center for the Arts at 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah, well, Victor's a good friend of mine. If you've never seen the Wooten Brothers, you've missed something really special. They're just brilliant musicians. The shows are a lot of fun, very interesting. Again, I love spontaneity as a musician, and they are all some of the greatest musicians of our time.
Yeah, they truly
that's-
are.
And
Truly
Victor's been part of our festival with the Flecktones many times.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably the third or fourth time he's been here with his own band. So
Yeah. Well, this is a fan favorite at 9:30. R&R, Rick Ron and Richard Elliott.
they're two great artists. Been friends of the festival for many years, and I mean Rick, is obviously he's like Gerald. He's like if he didn't live in the West Coast, he'd be more involved. But Rick's been part of the festival since the early '90s when he was originally from Allentown. His
Yeah.
family used to come down and in mass.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's just a fun fest.
It's a fun
for
show.
that.
It's a fun show.
Really,
Yeah.
It is.
definitely.
It is.
And then, of course, unscripted jazz that night again too. And then Saturday at noon, Marcus Anderson's going to be here with Kenny Lattimore
Yes.
and also Julian Vaughn.
Yeah, I'm excited about that show. Conversation with Marcus, he put the show together. Kudos to him, and we're happy to showcase it on Saturday,
It's the
the
12th.
12th, yeah, at noon at the Grand Ballroom. And it's going to be a 2-set show because it's just the three of them and their band, but there's no opening act or anything, so they have a lot of time to do a lot of music. So.
Yeah. And there's a lot of music there with the three of them.
And I have to
Kenny
say,
and-
Marcus is one of the most outstanding entertainers we have in the genre. He's exciting to watch. He
Yeah, he
dances,
is.
he sings, he
Yeah.
plays his you-know-what off.
Yeah.
And Kenny Lattimore is one of the great voices of our time.
absolutely.
Julia Vaughn is amazing.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah, that's going to be super. Rebecca Jade, Andrea Lisa. Wow.
Rebecca's Andrea. I got to meet last year. She's playing with Kirk Graham now, and she's starting to work on her solo career. She's a great guitar player, and Rebecca is building her marquee in the contemporary jazz world as a vocalist. Actually, I seen her not too long ago when she did the music of Sade here on this
Yeah.
stage, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she did an amazing job with it. So yeah, that's going to be a fun show. And it's nice to get some newer faces in the festival.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, and speaking of newer faces in the festival, we've got Corey Wong here.
yes, yeah. Corey Wong is he's a genre bender. He's a great guitar player. He has a big horn section. He has a full sound, and so we had an opportunity to book him. So we booked him to headline on Saturday at the Sky Stripe Cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 6 p.m. show.
Yeah.
And then that night at 9:30 back at the Grand Ballroom, Stanley Clark.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bass weekend.
It's a
Bass
bass weekend.
weekend.
So bases are loaded.
Yeah,
we got
bases are
Gerald,
loaded.
we got Jacob Webb and Felicia, we got Victor,
Yeah.
we got Stanley. You
Yeah.
know.
And Stanley's the godfather for all of us.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
he really catapulted the bass to a whole other level. So he's not to be missed. Truly.
No,
we
not
we
at
use the
all.
word legend, but he really is a legend.
Absolutely.
His shows are amazing because he plays a lot of acoustic bass and electric bass. So it's a really different styles of music he's
Right.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then the last day of the festival is Sunday, April 13th, and we've got that fabulous jazz brunch. It's your unscripted jazz.
Yeah, so we're doing something different. This is the first year that we have the Unscripted Jazz Brunch, and it is the culmination of the festival. It's a party with food and with coffee.
Coffee, yes.
right.
Because Marcus Anderson will be showcasing not only his musical talents, but his coffee as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've got Bobby Lyle will be there.
Yeah,
Eric.
Brian Simpson, Eric Marienthal's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's a great lineup, and it was an idea. We wanted to change some things, with the festival, keeping fans on the final day of the festival
Yes.
around for an evening concert. It's getting more and more challenging, so we decided this year, let's end the festival with a blowout brunch show with Gerald and some
Right.
special guests.
Yeah.
And, people who are 2, 3, 4 hours away can get home in a
Right.
timely manner. So
Right.
that's why we did it, and adapting to, but it's going to be a blast. And then the fact that, Marcus is working with the DoubleTree to have his coffee served all
That's
day.
going to be
wonderful,
amazing.
yeah.
And then before the show, Michael Tozzi is going to do I'm calling it a coffee
clutch, yeah.
I don't drink coffee, but he's going to be interviewing Marcus, Gerald, and whoever.
Right.
Out while the people are enjoying brunch, to fill the time they're going to.
Yeah.
And I
That'll be great.
who knows? Maybe Marcus, play something doing that for the fans
Yeah.
too. So, but it's a fun thing. I believe that the festival has to have unique experiences for the fans. Can't be the same thing all the time.
And that's what you do so well
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
putting
you
this
do a great
together,
job.
John.
Thank
you
you.
really
Thank
do.
you.
And then if you happen to be hanging around at the Highlands at 3:30, you can experience Bobby Lyle.
Yeah.
That last Sunday too.
Yeah, Bobby's been playing the Highlands now for like 3 years, and they love him.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, he just melts them. You know, he's solo piano, no music.
Yeah.
Just blends in the song.
Did he turn 80 last year?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
yes,
and boy, you wouldn't know.
You would never know it.
You'd
No,
never
no,
know it.
no.
He's just amazing.
And Gerald can attest this. When he sits down at the keyboard, that's where he wants to be.
Yeah.
And he's a force.
Yeah,
he is a force.
The music just pours out of him.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, the music is everywhere at the festival. It's the 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. It's in Reading, Pennsylvania, April 4th through the 13th, and you can go to berksjazzfest.com for tickets and information about all the acts. You can find everything there.
We update the website daily, and
Yep.
you know, and there's some other some stuff that's going to be as things change or things are added. They get announced right away. you know.
So check it out. There'll be all kinds of things that you can see there. Thanks so much for taking time
Thank
today.
Thank you,
you.
Diane.
And giving this
Thank you.
overview. It's getting me really excited. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you at the fest.
Don't miss the 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, presented by Berks Arts, April 4th through the 13th, 2025. Celebrated as one of the best festivals in the world, including top-name traditional, contemporary, and R&B performers. 10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. The 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. Tickets on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, check out berksjazzfest.com.